Would you mind if I occasionally checked with you about the women or where I'm going wrong? I need someone to talk to, and you've been great.
Well, no, I don't mind. I think I'll be able to give you quite a bit of good advice, Mr. Andrews.
And now that we're alone, any chance I can get you to call me David?
Well, I don't see why not. I'm Vera.
Hi.
Not a worry in the world, Doris.
You know, I could kill you right now. Walk right out of that door and never lose a night's sleep. You know that?
Why don't you?
Well, there wouldn't be much fun in that now, would there, eh? And I'm a man who likes his pleasures, you know that. You're not so chirpy now, Brian, are you, eh? You know what? I reckon that you owe your old friend Jock here a bit of a favor. And you're not much of a posie to say no in any case, are you?
What do you want me to do?
You wouldn't have a clue, would you? What I want, you couldn't possibly supply. I know what you are, Brian. You couldn't satisfy the likes of me. You wouldn't have a clue. But I'll tell you what you are going to do. You're going to work for Jock. That's right. Because every time I come in here, I'm going to want $300 from you. You understand?
Well, what if I don't?
If you don't, I'll do two things. First of all, I'll break every bone in your body. That's right. And then I'll inform my friends, the boys in blue, that you and your wee friend, Helen Smart, are right here for the pickings. You'll both be whisked off to Wentworth in a flash. I promise you something, if you don't, you'll be sorry for the day you ever heard the name Jock Stewart. Poor wee Shan Gilmer. Eh? You remember her, eh? Pretty wee thing, too. I remember her all lying crumpled at the bottom of these stairs. Poor wee thing. But you know, you were absolutely bonkers to think you could put me away, Brian. Yeah, bonkers. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. Now, listen. I'm going to call in here every day, see? I'm going to ask for you. And they'll think you're doing a real good job if you can satisfy me. And each time I come in, I'm going to want that 300. Now, you're going to have to work bloody hard to get that sort of money together, aren't you, eh? You know, just looking at you in any case, Brian, I reckon that, I reckon you could really do with the practice. Don't you, eh? I'll see you tomorrow.
It's bloody awful. Isn't there anything else?
No, nothing much, not unless you like them quiz shows.
Nah, I can't answer any of the questions. That's only for the likes of Mr. High and Mighty Andrews.
Well, maybe now that we've got a teacher, we might learn all these sorts of things. You never know, we could go on a quiz show ourselves when we get out. Lizzie Birdsworth, the champ. Now, Mrs. Birdsworth, or may I call you Lizzie, here we go for the $65,000 question. What is the name of a place of detention for women starting with the letter W?
Oh, you don't need a teacher for that one.
We don't need a teacher anyway. All that stuff about English grammar, you can stick it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I don't know, Phil. I reckon it helps if you can talk right.
Come on, Dor, who cares about that?
Well, it might help you get a job or something.
No, I reckon it's bloody boring. That teacher's nothing special. I've been through the school of hard knocks, don't forget, and that's the best teacher.
Well, I reckon he's all right.
So do I. But only 'cause he wears pants.
Well, I'm on trolley duty tomorrow. That'll do me. I don't need to learn nothing.
I was reading this article on real interesting stuff about how you can find out everything you want to know by looking at your feet.
Like when you put your foot in it, you mean?
No, I mean if you study your feet, you can find out what diseases you've got.
Well, I got corns, blisters and varicose veins.
You don't get it, do you? Listen, if that teacher taught us interesting things like that, well, I'd be in it for sure.
Well, I reckon that everything he teaches is okay, and I'm going to go to school every day that I can.
Reckon he might be your type, eh?
Might be.
Hey, Mr. Andrews, will you teach me?
Oh, give it up, Phil. I reckon he's a real nice bloke.
Hey, Lizzie Doreen's got her eye on him.
Oh, he wouldn't even notice with his nose in all them books.
Dor's gonna make him notice, ain't you, Dor?
Will you give up, Phil?
You can go to bed now and dream if you're Mr. Andrews.
Well, it's better than dreaming about your feet.
G'day, love. So Sheila like you doing out so late? Oh, not talking, are you? Hey, Charlie, she's a bit shy. Needs looking after.
Will you go to hell?
Oh, she talks. Do you want a lift?
Buzz off, Buster.
Come on, we'll show you a good time.
Bitch!
Ugly old pig, anyway!
Bloody quiet tonight.
Yes, it is.
That's a new face, Pete. Check it out.
Yes, Sarge.
Down here, come on.
It's no good we lost her. I'd like to know who she was, though. We better get back. Scared her off if nothing else.
Oh, a bit late, fella. Come in. What the hell happened to you? You look terrible. Here, this might help a little.
I found him.
And?
I blew it.
How come?
I tried. You know, I never thought that I could kill anybody, but I could have killed that bastard so easily.
What happened?
He must have heard me or sensed I was there, something, I don't know, but by the time I could do anything, it's too late.
What'd you do?
You know, he laughed. That foul bastard laughed. And then he said to me that he was going to come back every day and he was going to get $300 from me or else tell the cops.
300? Do you know how hard you'd have to work to make that? What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Oh, listen, honey, why don't you go away somewhere quiet? You've enough money. You can keep the wig and the clothes.
No! I've got to do this on my own.
Do what? Pay Jock Stewart's expenses? You've got to be joking.
Give me another one.
Sure.
I've got to do this, Helen. Because if I don't do this, I would never be able to live with myself. What I've done is so... I just can't face myself, that's all. I took the job. I've been with all those men. And one day, Jock Stewart is going to make a mistake and I'm going to get him. If it takes 100 men a day, I'm going to get him. Damn him! I'll do it! I know it.
Good morning, Miss Bennett. Doreen?
Good morning. Burns is the only one this morning. All the others opted for work. Why, I can't imagine. Any other time, they'd find an excuse not to work.
Well, come in, Doreen. I've set out some books on the table. Take any one. Turn to chapter 1, and after you've read it, we'll talk about it, all right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I can't have made too good an impression on them yesterday. I feel a bit of a fool setting out all these books and having only one turn up.
You can be sure of one thing. They're up to something.
But why? I mean, this is only for their own good.
Who knows why they do a lot of things?
Oh, I'm disappointed. I felt sure more of them would be interested.
These women don't care. They haven't got the brains to realize you're a good teacher. You're wasting your time on them. You should be working with children who deserve you, not this lot.
Well, if this keeps up, I'll have to go back to teaching kids. But I'm not going to give up yet. I may have come on a bit strong yesterday. I'm going to have to learn by trial and error. Anyway, thank you for your encouragement.
Burns can stay here until 11:45 unless you want a break.
No, that's all right.
I'll leave you to it.
Thanks. What do you make of it, Doreen?
Morning, Jim. Lovely day, isn't it?
Yeah, good morning, Sid.
Well, what do you got for me?
You're eager?
Oh, always a keen starter. I like to get on with things, you know what I mean?
Yes, well, there's plenty to do.
Good.
I'd better check your tools.
Oh, yeah, nearly forgot. Yeah, you must get tired of checking everything.
Now you get used to it. It's for your own sake, really. That way, if the women are caught with anything, you're in the clear.
Ah, I see.
Look, do you have a list of all your tools?
Well, no, I don't.
Well, it may not be a bad idea. That way you can be sure that you leave with the same number of hacksaw blades as you arrived with.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, I'll do that then, of course.
Good. Well, I've got a list of jobs for you to do. Julie, thank you. I doubt if you got to them all today.
Listen, could I include the garden in my duties? I'm a keen gardener.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You better tend to these things first, but after that, feel free. The garden could do with a bit of expertise.
Oh, I don't know about expertise, but I could do a few little things. Well, let's get on with this lot then, shall we?
Well, here we are.
Yeah, here we all are. Give us a kiss, eh?
Get your clothes off first, Tiger.
Oh, right. No worries, you bet. Hey, you're a bit of all right. No, I really mean it. Bit of all right. What you say your name was?
Handa.
Fair dinkum.
Why not?
Yeah, beauty. Why not? These pants have been bloody good to me. You know that? Bloody good.
Hurry it up, will you?
Oh, don't rush me, don't rush me. I'm gonna enjoy this. You reckon? Hey?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, g'day.
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Chevy. A chipmunk.
I thought you weren't working.
Well, you can't keep an old bugger like me to... Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's not ladylike, is it?
Well, I've heard saltier language of that in my time.
I bet you have.
Anyhow, how come you're pushing this trolley?
Screw's morning tea.
Oh, you're the tea lady, are you?
Sort of.
I brought you something. Hope you don't mind.
What is it? Oh, look at that. That's lovely.
Smell it.
Lavender. I love lavender. How'd you know?
Well, I wasn't sure you'd like it.
I'm going to hang that by my bed so I can smell it all night.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
You want to be careful, though. Old Vinegar doesn't catch you bringing things in.
Who?
Vinegar. You know, Miss Bennett.
Why'd you call her that?
Well, she can be a bit sour, you know.
Oh, I see.
Well, I better be getting on, or the screws will wonder where their tea's gone.
Yeah, all right. And have a good day, won't you?
You too, Sid.
And thanks for the lavender. It's beautiful.
My pleasure.
Well, I hope you've had a profitable day.
Well, I wasn't expecting you so early. I've only got $150.
You lying bitch. I said 300. And I meant it. I know what you girls can earn. You're gonna have to offer your clients something more than just a wee gentle rub down, aren't you, eh? Or can you manage that, eh? I'm gonna be in here every day. I'm gonna want my money. I mean, after all, I deserve it. You know, I'm looking after you, you know?
See you, Tiger. And don't forget, remember me to the wife. I suppose this is the wrong thing to say, but you look awful.
Oh, God.
Was he there?
Yes.
Did he give you a hard time?
Yes, he did. At first, I didn't have the money, you see. So he threatened me. He said he'd come back later.
Did he rough you up?
A bit. Anyway, he came back later. I had the money for him. Listen, I want you to do me a favor, huh?
Sure, anything. What is it?
This money is Doreen's money. There's $800 here, and I want you to open an account for her, huh?
In Doreen's name?
Yeah. You can still do her signature, huh?
Yeah, I suppose so, but you're going to need this money.
No, I'm not, you see. I owed her a lot more than that, but I've lost that. I've spent that, and she'll need some when she gets out.
Hey, this sounds like you're going back on the inside.
Yeah, it does.
Well, what about that Scottish bastard? What about him?
Don't you worry yourself. Not about Mr. Jock Stewart. He's finished.
Well, what are you doing?
Hello, police?
Oh, Judy,
stop it. You, looking for Judy Bryant? There's a man called Jock Stewart who used to work at Wentworth. Now, if you follow him, you'll find her, because he's looking after her.
Good morning, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Sid. Oh, you look bright. Nice to see a happy face around here, isn't it, Julie?
It is. Well,
Even a prison can have a happy face or two, can't it?
Why not, eh?
Yeah, oh, nearly forgot. Here's a list of tools Mr. Fletcher asked me to make up.
Ah, that's a good idea. You got much to do today, Sid?
Oh, a few little things. I'm going to look at the garden. Yeah, oh, that reminds me, Mrs. Morris. I was wondering if someone could show me where things have been planted before. It does make a difference, you know. Yeah, I was thinking might be good for Mrs. Birdsworth to get some fresh air.
Well, it's not the usual thing to let a prisoner off on her own. Still, she's only on light duties, and as you said, it might do her some good.
Ah, yeah, fresh air. Yeah, that's the very best medicine in the world. I've believed in that all my life.
Well, let me know when you're ready, and I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Mrs. Morris. I appreciate that. Well, time to begin, then. Have a nice morning.
Well, we could certainly do with more like him around the place.
Just as I thought. He's probably got her in there. We'll give him a couple of minutes and we'll go in and catch him at it.
You're a bit slack, aren't you?
Well, it's a bit early.
I just thought I might pop over here just to check up on you. In case you get any wee ideas about, running away. I mean, after all, I'm looking after you. So I naturally feel responsible for you.
Oh, yeah, all right. You'll get your money. Just don't push me, okay?
I'll get my money, all right. Don't worry about that, Brian. Because if I don't, I'll bash the living daylights out of you, and that's a promise.
All right. It's just that I can't get any money with you hanging about me all the time, can I?
Ooh. What's the hurry? I mean, after all, I'm paying for this. Might as well get something out of it. Why don't you be nice to old Jock, huh?
You gotta be kidding. No! That's not part of the deal!
Well, Sharon Gilmer was nice. She was very nice. And I mean, one dyke's as good as another.
You bastard! You
Please, hands on the table! Right, you're both under arrest.
I've just had a little massage. There's no crime in that, is there?
Your name, Jock Stewart?
It is, yeah. What about it?
Do you know who this woman is?
Haven't a clue.
Come on, Stewart. What we just heard outside the door makes you and Judy Bryant here good mates.
Never seen her before in my life.
Oh, come on, Jock. You might as well tell them the truth. The game's up now.
Stinking rotten bitch. Stewart! All right, go on. You're an ex-screw, aren't you? I've got news for you. I'm going to throw the book at you. A quiet spell on the other side of the bars will be no picnic, will it? Not so fast.
Well, it was worth a try, wasn't it? I just want to say one thing to you, Jock. This one was for Sharon. And I hope they kill you.
Come on.
I never knew much about prisons till I came here.
It's an eye-opener, isn't it?
It certainly is. Well, I never really gave it much thought.
How are things going for you here? All right?
Oh, fine. Yeah, it's nice to be of use to someone. Yeah, I like to help out when I can.
Oh, it's a change to have some gentlemen in the place.
Oh, chivalry isn't dead yet, you know.
How are the classes, Mr. Andrews?
Great. For Doreen. I don't feel I'm getting very far, though, with just one pupil, although she is very enthusiastic.
That won't last.
No, I'm hoping she might persuade some of the others.
Perhaps.
The other thing that worries me is the room. It's a depressing environment. I expect I'll have to use it for a while. The education department promised a portable classroom, but it could take forever.
Well, maybe I could do something.
Oh, that'd be great. I was thinking of working on it myself.
You're a teacher, not a handyman.
Quite right. That's what I'm here for.
It makes you think a teacher can't use his hands. I built a boat once, just a dinghy, but it didn't sink.
Well, you certainly picked a hard project, don't you?
Well, I guess that's why I'm here. You know, I really believe that if I can persuade some of the women to put their minds to it, they could get some kind of confidence going.
You're an idealist.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Well, nothing wrong with that, son. You stick to it.
Well, certainly I'll need more shelving and display boards.
Oh, knock some of those up in no time. You let me know what you want. I'll get on to it.
I'll ask Mrs. Davison for some paint too. It really needs brightening up.
Good morning.
Hello, Sid.
How are you?
Oh, same as ever.
Oh, I'd like a word with Mrs. Birdsworth. I'll pop in later on.
Okay, see you later.
I brought you something.
Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. Did you grow it?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Lizzie, haven't you collected the tea things yet?
I'm just on my way, Mrs. J. I mean, Mrs. M. It's not the same, is it?
Well, you'll get used to it.
I suppose I will.
Well, off you go then. Oh, and Lizzie, when you've taken the trolley back to the kitchen, you can go for a walk in the garden with Mr. Humphrey.
Oh, beauty. Thank you, Mrs. J.
Said you have to be careful. You could get Lizzie into trouble if you keep giving her things.
Well, I thought a small plant would be all right.
Well, it's against regulations, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to break any rules. I just thought it'd be something nice for her to have in her room.
Well, the problem is, if someone asks where it came from.
Yeah, I see. Well, I promise I won't be a smuggler anymore. Thanks for being so understanding. Hey, you could put me on a charge or something, couldn't you?
Well, we wouldn't want to lose our handyman now, would we?
Oh, heavens, no.
The idea is that instead of using a number, you call it X.
Yeah.
So you might have something like this. X plus 3 equals 5. You see?
Oh, yeah.
So what is X?
I don't know.
Not interrupting anything, am I?
No, not at all. Come here. You're,
Phyllis Hunt.
what can I do for you?
Well, I came to your class the other day.
I remember, yes.
Well, to tell you the truth, I thought it was pretty boring. And then I got this great idea, see? Well, you could do a class about feet.
Feet.
Yeah, I read about it in a magazine. It was real interesting.
Well, you'd better show it to me.
You know, if you had more classes about interesting things like that, well, lots of the girls would come to them.
What sort of things?
Well, I don't know, but you could ask the girls, and then you'd know what they'd like to learn.
Well, that's not such a bad idea, fellas. Thank you very much. I'm always open to suggestion.
It's okay.
What about this X?
Yes. Where was I? Well, X plus 3 equals 5. What is X?
It's not easy, is it?
Well, 2 plus 3 equals 5.
Oh.
X plus 3.
Sorry to interrupt, but the governor would like to see Doreen.
But I haven't done anything, honest, Mr. Fletcher.
Nobody's accusing you of anything. It's got something to do with your divorce. The papers have come through.
Come in. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Sit down, Doreen. I've had a letter from Kevin's solicitor enclosing an application for dissolution of marriage.
Does that mean I'm divorced?
No, it's just an application.
Well, when will Kevin get the divorce then?
There is a waiting period, I understand.
How long?
Well, it depends on the case. I should think yours would be quite quick, as there are no children involved. You will have to sign this acknowledgement of service. It simply means that you have received Kevin's application.
Well, what's this?
Oh, that tells you what you can do.
Well, I know what I can do. Nothing. Just stay in here and get divorced.
I've also had a letter from Kevin's solicitor offering you maintenance.
I don't want his money. I can look after myself. I've got my own money anyway.
That's just it. You haven't, remember?
Well, I don't want his money.
Doreen, I think you should give this some thought.
What is there to think about? I can look after myself. He left me, and that's that.
He's only trying to help.
Well, I don't need his help. You just tell him to lay off. I don't want anything from him.
Doreen, I think you should look at these forms, give them some thought, and then bring them back.
All right, can I go now?
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Doreen, if you have any questions, come and see me.
Well, hello there, Vera.
Bryant.
In person. That better?
I knew you wouldn't last long. You should have learnt your lesson from the last time.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm a slow learner, huh?
There you are. On the line, Bryant.
Be nice to me, Vera.
That's enough, or you'll start off in the pound.
Yeah, well, what a lousy homecoming that'd be.
Your name is Judy Bryant?
Yes.
You have been charged with escaping from lawful custody.
Guilty as charged, Your Honor.
It's fine. Except that the word new is spelt with a K. You spell it that way, it means brand new. You see the difference?
Do you still want Burns?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fletcher. What happened?
I got these.
You go on with your work, girls. I'll check it in a moment. Sit down, Dory. You want a hand to fill them in?
Oh, yeah, because I can never understand all this legal stuff.
Well, it's not too hard.
Well, maybe this is the sort of stuff you should be teaching us, because we have to do this all the time.
Well, that's not such a bad idea. Let's have a look. I take it your husband's making the application. Kevin Arnold Burns.
Yeah, Kevin.
Were you married long?
No. We had a ceremony and everything, but we were never really married. I just got his name and one day out with him.
What was he like?
Oh, I'd rather not talk about it. No, it must have been hard for him being married to a crim, especially being as straight as he was.
Right, okay. Well, let's read through the forms together then, shall we?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Bryant, Mrs. Davidson.
I'll bring her in.
Come on.
Well, Bryant, this is becoming quite a habit.
Hey, where's the welcoming committee?
Don't be impertinent. Escaping may be important in the eyes of the prisoners, but not to me.
No, ma'am.
We're going to be watching you very closely from now on.
Well, I'm not planning on going anywhere, am I?
I think it's unfortunate that you've taken this attitude. You came in here on a minor charge, and you are now publicly known as a dangerous criminal with a considerably increased sentence.
Well, that just goes to show you how effective rehabilitation is, doesn't it?
I'm going to suggest that you work hard at taking up a new interest. We have an education program here which may help.
Well, that's terrific. You know, I've always wanted to be an explosives expert.
That's enough, Bryant.
You will have to face the fact that you are going to be in here for some time. I think it's important you find something of value to do.
Value? Now, let me tell you something, Mrs. Davidson. The only valuable thing that I've done since I've been in here was to get out of the place and to make sure that certain people got what was coming to them.
What do you mean?
You were so smug on the television. The coroner's inquiry has proved that Sharon Gilmore's death was an accident. You just got out the usual whitewash.
That matter is closed.
You bet it is. Because Jock Stewart has got what he deserved.
On a divorce, the court has the power to settle disputes between you about property and can transfer property from one to the other. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Pack up, ladies. It's lunch.
No, that's only the muster bell.
Oh, I'll get used to it one day. Now, do you have any property?
Oh, just my mum's house, but I don't think Kevin would want to take that away from me.
Righto, ladies, move out.
Mrs. Morris, could I stay and talk to Mr. Andrews for a minute, please?
Bella's gone, Doreen.
But I'll only be a little while.
I'll bring her down, Mrs. Morris.
Very well, then.
It's funny being divorced.
It's very common these days.
Yeah, I know. But it's just that I feel as though nobody wants me anymore.
You shouldn't put yourself down like that, Doreen. It's very important that you don't let the divorce ruin your confidence.
What have I got to be confident about?
Oh, come on. You've got a lot going for you.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Yes, I do. I think you're very pretty.
And he's going to plant flowers all over the place. This place is going to look like the botanical gardens.
That'll make a change.
Oh, you should just have heard said. He knows the names of all the flowers. Did you know that you can get pink and white forget-me-nots?
Go on.
Yeah. God, I'm going to ask that teacher bloke if he can teach me some horticulture or whatever you call it.
Isn't he great?
Who, love?
Oh, Mr. Andrews, I just think he's so nice.
Now, hang on a minute. Don't tell me you're getting all mushy over the teacher.
Well, I reckon he's a bit of all right.
Yeah, just you remember that he's an officer. He may not be a screw, but he's still one of them. So just watch it.
I don't mind watching him at all.
You don't understand a thing I'm saying, do you?
Hey, where's the welcoming committee?
Where did he get caught? Oh, my. What happened?
Gee, it's really nice to see all of you.
Don't tell me you're happy to be back in here.
Oh, well, what do you think? Nothing's changed, has it?
Not a thing. Well, come on, you lot. Get a move on. See what I mean?
Hey.
How do you like being an officer?
I don't know, really. I don't feel like one.
Oh, you may not dress like one, and when it comes to the regulations, you'll find that you are.
Well, I hope the women won't see me that way.
Well, I suppose that depends on you.
Yes. The department didn't talk about this in the orientation course that I did. Mind you, I didn't get a chance to finish it.
What did they teach you?
Not much, really. Now that I'm on the job, I realize it didn't help at all. I'm flying by the seat of my pants a bit.
Oh, you'll get the hang of it.
I hope so.
I might come to class myself. I could learn something.
To join the classes, you're always welcome. It could even help relations with the prisoners.
Oh, I doubt it.
Oh, there you are. No, do sit down. I just wanted to make sure you knew about the classification meeting this afternoon.
No, I didn't.
Well, I'd like you to advise us on the progress of the women and how much time we should allot them for classes.
Right, well, I'll be there. Would you like a report on progress so far?
Yes, but it doesn't have to be too detailed. Now, don't let me interrupt your lunch any further. I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
Right.
I just love the class as highlight of the week.
Well, I'm glad you're coming. We could do with some new ideas.
Well, I hope I can help.
Well, so long as you don't take too long with your reports. The meetings are long enough without the education officer going mad.
I know a lot about Hungarian goulash, and what we had just now was not goulash. That was Irish stew. Anyone who knew anything about cooking would know that.
You know, you ought to be on telly, Lizzie.
Oh, that's a good idea. Do you reckon I ought to take some cooking lessons from that Mr. Andrews?
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, Doreen has fallen in love with the teacher.
I have not. I just think he's a nice bloke, that's all.
Tell us what happened on the outside, Jude.
Oh, where do I start, huh?
Doesn't matter.
Well, I can tell you one thing. If I'd known what was going to happen to me while I'm out there, I don't think I would have gone.
Why?
Well, it wasn't worth it, I don't think. A lot of innocent people got hurt because of me. And,
Go on.
Well, there's one thing I don't regret for a second.
What's that?
I got Jock Stewart.
You what?
What did you do?
Well, with a bit of luck, he's behind bars as we speak.
Well, Wonder Woman's got nothing on Judy Bryant.
Wonder Woman didn't have to work in a massage parlor to get her man.
What?
Yeah. You see, Helen found out that he was working the parlor, so I got her to get me a job at the one he went to.
But I can't imagine you working in a parlor.
It's the most disgusting thing I've ever done.
Oh, but it was worth it, wasn't it, to get Jock Stewart?
I had to do it. I owed that much to Sharon.
Well, at least you got the bastard.
Now, Judy Bryant.
What sort of a state is she in?
I think it's too early to be sure.
She's still arrogant. These women never learn.
I'd like a close eye kept on her to make sure she gets back into routine. The education program should help.
When will I see her?
Well, I'll try to arrange for you to see her this afternoon, if possible.
Right.
Which brings us to you, Mr. Andrews.
Yes, well, right. I can't report much. I think the initial setting up was always a bit unsettling. However, I would like to ask if I could initiate an interview program where I talk to each of the women and assess their educational needs.
Well, that sounds excellent. What do you think?
I wouldn't believe everything the women tell you.
Well, Lizzie Birdsworth asked me just before I came here to see you about attending classes.
I might as well start with her.
Right.
Good. We'll expect reports on the prisoners' educational progress.
Thanks, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, how much time will the women be allowed to attend the classes?
What do you think?
I'd imagine it'd depend on each one's ability and inclination. What would be the maximum?
Well, if you have some promising students, I don't see why they couldn't have, say, 5 half-days a week.
What about their other duties?
Well, I don't think the laundry will fall apart if a couple of them go off to classes.
They'll all want to be in it just to get out of work.
That hasn't been my experience so far.
Well, why don't you draw up a timetable after you've interviewed the women and we can assess it?
Right.
Well, is there anything else?
Nope.
No. Well, thank you, everyone.
Might as well start with Lizzie.
Okay.
See, I didn't go much on schooling when I was a kid. I mean, it wasn't important for a girl. But I'm no deal.
I can see that.
I reckon I could have done anything if I'd had a chance.
Well, what sort of things would you like to do?
I got it all worked out, and that's why I wanted to see you. I want to be a lawyer. I handled my own case real well last time. And I want to be a horticulturist. You know, one of them fellas that knows all about flowers?
Hold on, Lizzie. You should be a bit realistic.
What do you mean?
Well, you're aiming too high. You should start with the basics.
Yeah, you just listen to me, young fella. I know what I want. You're supposed to help us prisoners, and I'm telling you.
Lizzie, what you're suggesting is ridiculous. Your age, your lack of basic education, it just isn't possible.
You reckon I'm one of them silly old buggers who can't count up to 10, don't you?
No, of course not.
Well, you don't care what we want, do you? Just so long as you get your fat teacher's check each week. You don't give a bugger about us.
Lizzie.
That fella who reckons he's a teacher's not worth talking to.
Look, I don't know what was going on, but you've got to remember to take it easy with her. Apart from the fact that she's 72, she's just out of hospital.
Yes, I know, Jim, but she said she wanted to be a lawyer. All I said was how ridiculous it was. I mean, what else could I say?
Yeah, well, that's your problem. Just don't upset them, that's all. That's how trouble starts.
Yeah, well, I dropped out of high school before I could finish, but I really liked it up to then.
Why'd you leave?
Personal reasons. You wouldn't be interested in that.
Well, it might help.
No, it won't.
Do you have any ideas on what sort of classes you'd like to do?
Depends what's on offer.
That's a good question. Well, so far I've been teaching fairly basic English and maths and so on, but there's no reason why we can't branch out into more interesting areas.
Such as?
Well, art, for instance, or pottery.
Pottery, huh? Yeah, I like pottery. I'm not very good at it, though.
All right, then. I've had some experience in that field, and we'll see what we can do.
I'll tell you what you ought to do. You know, you'd be surprised how many of the women here just don't know how to cope when they get on the outside. I mean, things like where to go for help if they need it, or what their rights are, that sort of thing.
Yes, I found that out.
Yeah, well, I think English and maths, they're fine. But if you could offer the women something that they could really do to help themselves, I think they'd be in it. You know, it's crazy. Mrs. Davidson, she's always talking about rehabilitation. There's no such thing. I'm a prime example of that.
You know what rehabilitation means?
Yeah, putting people on the straight path. Yeah.
That means to restore to former condition.
Well, that's true, isn't it? In come the crims, out they go, better crims than ever. Rehabilitation exists after all, eh?
Well, that's why I want the women to learn something. That way they won't have to be the same when they get out.
Looks like you and I agree on the same thing.
Good. There's a start.
Okay. You can count on me.
I'm afraid it might take a little while to set up.
Well, that doesn't matter. I don't think I'm going anywhere for a while.
The sooner I'm set up, the better.
Well, I think it'll make a nice change, huh?
Well, I hope so. It's been nice talking to you, Judy. You've given me some food for thought. Hi.
What are you still doing here?
I like the place so much I can't bear to go home.
No, you should move in.
Ladies only, I believe.
The women wouldn't mind.
I'm not so sure after today.
What do you mean?
I just feel that they don't trust me.
These women don't have normal feelings. You're going to have to get used to that.
I suppose so. Why are you still here?
I'm on a double shift.
How long's that?
16 hours.
Do you do them often?
At least once a week. We're badly understaffed.
Makes me feel guilty about the few hours that I work here.
Yes, some people are better off than others. Are you teaching tonight?
No. I'm rather unhappy about the state of the library. It's so dull and drab that I thought I'd spend the night trying to brighten it up a bit.
Well, I could detail some of the women to help you if you like. They've got nothing better to do.
No, don't do that. I wouldn't want them to think they're being forced into anything. Of course, if some of them volunteer, I'd be happy to see them.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Vera.
In a statement to the House, the Minister for
Hey,
Northern
you know that money you gave us? Yeah. We didn't spend all of it.
What'd you do with it?
I gave it to Helen. She's going to open a bank account in your name. There's $800 there.
Oh, beauty, Jude. That means I'm not broke. Because you know Mouse's money disappeared when the cops got her.
Well, honey, I promise you that I will pay you back the rest as soon as I can.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, you two, will you keep it down?
Recaptured. In a morning raid on an inner-city massage parlor, police surprised Bryant and an accomplice, Jock Stewart. Stewart has since been charged with harboring and aiding an escapee, living off immoral earnings, and assaulting a police officer. Bail was refused.
Mincemeat of him in the slouch.
Yeah, good on him, Jude.
Haven't you heard the good news? Justice has finally reached Jock Stewart.
Mr. Andrews is doing some work in the library if any of you wish to help.
I will, Miss Bennett.
Look at Miss Goody Two-Shoes.
That's enough, Smith. Anyone else?
Districts cool and cloudy, with showers
Come on,
becoming mainly
Burns.
confined to the coast during the day and fresh to strong westerly winds moderating.
Oh, dear. Looks as though she's hit the jackpot, eh?
Don't worry, that won't last long.
Come on. Tell us how you set Jock Stewart up.
Oh, what, again?
Oh, I love to hear all about it.
Well, maybe I ought to write a book, huh? How I Caught Jock Stewart?
I reckon you'd make a fortune.
Really? I don't think anybody'd buy it.
Ah, reinforcements.
Burns was the only volunteer.
Well, it's the quality that counts, not the quantity.
She'll have to stay here until the 9 o'clock bell.
Shall I bring her back myself?
No, an officer will come and get her.
Thank you, Miss Bennett.
Are you sure you don't need any more?
No, Doreen will be fine. We'll get a lot done.
Yeah, I'll work real hard, Miss Bennett.
Why don't you take those pamphlets and spread them out on the table?
Can't I help you?
What, with the poster?
Yeah.
All right, I'll hold the poster and you can do the pins.
Oh, thanks. This is much better than being in the rec room.
Some of these books are in dreadful condition. Look at this old Shakespeare.
We did some Shakespeare with Ken Pierce.
Do you like Shakespeare?
Oh, yeah.
Lord, Lord, methought what pain it was to drown, what dreadful noise of water in mine ears, what nights of ugly death within mine eyes. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 1,000 men that fishers gnawed upon. Isn't that wonderful stuff?
Yeah.
Wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearl, unestimable stones, unvalued jewels.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines.